All right, everyone, what's up? For real this time, I'm back. For real, it worked. It's your girl, the Queen of NE, here on Queen is Going Live on YouTube and Twitch. Hello. Also to Periscope. What's up, people? Nice to see you. Hanging out on a beautiful Sunday here in New England. I gotta tell you, the sun is shining. It's beautiful for Memorial Day weekend, and I'm so excited to really, not a joke, bring you today, my friends from Dojo and Dynamite. Ashley and Rich, you're here, and knock on wood, we tested it, my friends. It's working.
Hey guys, hey Queen, thank you so much for having us. Yesterday, as we talked, yesterday was a day, but we
Yesterday
got
was a
through
day.
it. You know what? Technology is great when it works. Right now, we seem to be in good shape.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so.
I
Knock
hope
on
so,
wood,
too.
you said. But you know what? Let's do this. We're here. We're excited. Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for being such good sports yesterday while everything was failing. But here we are, and I think we're thriving. So we'll just say thank you to the AEW Double or Nothing gods for being amazing. So here we are. What's up, Chris, in the chat? And Colin, welcome, y'all. We're here with Dojo and Dynamite. I'm pumped. We're going to talk about all things Double or Nothing, my friends. But before we get there, today is the official launch day because everyone's telling me, Queen, we can't start the hashtag all out challenge, which you just see popping up on your screen right now. That beautiful graphic. Shout out to Chris for making it for me. We can't start it, Queen, because Double or Nothing's happening and we need our junk food. So I said, fine, it's cool. It's a pay-per-view. I get it. But the next day, folks, we're hitting all our goals. We're starting the hashtag all out challenge, which is just about, positive health, dieting if you want to go that route, fitness in whatever way that means to you, whether it's going for a walk or you want to do CrossFit. God bless you. Good luck. I could never do that. Queen's Boxing, as you've been seeing, if you've been following me on Twitter or Instagram, and I just feel like being physically active and eating well and drinking a lot of water helps mental health. And that's something that I feel like, we should just all embrace and try to be better at. So that's what the All Out Challenge is. And my friends here said that they're on board, right, guys?
Oh, absolutely. I think this is a great, self-care motivation, and it's been just difficult in general, so we need to take care of ourselves, take care of each other, and it's summer.
Let's get some summer bodies, guys.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Let's work out, have fun, enjoy the sun, and I think this is a really great idea.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you guys are on board, and I'm glad that y'all like it. What's up, Speezy? Speez and the Benchmark Show. If you don't know, now you know. Go follow them. Excellent shows that they have with Speez and Silky. And Ash is here. Hello. So the All Out Challenge, I'm really excited. It's the official first day. We're going to go get it. And I love how you said self-care, because that is the whole point. We're going to take care of ourselves. And everyone in the chat, thanks for joining us. Please, if you would, be so kind. Go and tell all your friends that you're hanging out with Queen and Ashley and Rich from Dojo and Dynamite, because we're here to talk about AEW Double or Nothing in review. But before we do that, real quick, real brief, I have to say, I talked a little bit about it yesterday, but I'm feeling a little more vocal and feeling okay to talk a little bit more about it today. I have to say, the outpouring of support and love that I saw on the timeline for Hana Kimura and all of her family and friends and fellow wrestlers was something that touched me. Hana meant a lot to me. She was one of my favorite Joshi wrestlers over in Stardom. Hashtag watch Stardom. If you don't, you should. It is the premier women's promotion in the entire world. And what a tragedy. And I just feel like we should be using our platforms, however small or large, to be spreading positivity and kindness. If you don't have something nice to say to somebody, then you don't need to say it, dude. It's what my mom told me when I was little, and it's what I believe to this day. Treat people as you wish to be treated. There's tongue in cheek, and there's times to be a little sassy, but it doesn't mean that you have to be negative. So I just wanted to say that real quick, and I'm sure you guys saw everything, of course, and AEW last night did a beautiful tribute to her and had a nice message. Excalibur said some things, and it was really touching.
It was a very classy move. Tragic circumstance, but you said it perfectly. Just let's be nice. I mean, it's how we take our podcast in general. Just there's time for criticisms, like you said. There's time for sass, but why do you have to be rude?
And I appreciate the fact that AEW last night, even with the Shad Gaspard, they acknowledged they weren't affiliated with them. They never worked for the organization. It's a wrestling tragedy, both events, and I'm glad they acknowledged it, and I'm glad they represented it well.
But I think that's what we should all try to do, just this larger wrestling community, just giving support to each other and just promoting positivity. And Queen, you do that so well. Just keeping an open mindset and being welcoming to everyone. And I think we all can be better and just working towards that on a larger scheme.
Yeah, and I appreciate that very much. Thank you. But I feel like that goes back to you two. You have such a great show, and your platform on Twitter is used for good things. And you know how much I love you guys. So I'm just excited that you're here, and I appreciate that. And now we need to talk about something super positive and fun, because last night was AEW Double or Nothing. 1 year later, now we've had the second one. It's in the books. Oh my God, what a show. Overall, you two, how do you feel now that we're almost 24 hours from start time?
So we've gotten about halfway through the show on our second go around.
Nice.
Loved it. I mean, it feels like such a big deal. As we've talked about, these past few months have felt like such a lull and limbo, and it's been kind of hard to get excited and motivated for certain things. But waking up yesterday, we're like, all right, it's go time, like it's Double or Nothing. We felt like there was something going on for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, it was also the community. Everybody was kind of doing their podcast, they're doing their previews, they're bringing in people, they're doing live shows. So it was kind of like, hey, you know what? This is a big deal. We feel good today. We got up, we're ready to go. Let's do some stuff. So show ended up being great. Delivered. It was excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what I thought was interesting, and, there's usually some smattering of a differing of opinions, but I felt like I saw a lot last night once the show was over of, oh my God, I spent $50 on this, and I can't believe that's all I got. On the other side, it was, oh my God, that was the best $50 I ever spent. The Stampede stadium match alone was worth it. It was kind of divisive. I don't know if you saw that on the timeline, but I was a little surprised that it was so kind of 50-50.
I was actually talking with Rich earlier today, because I saw a tweet saying what you just said, that the opinions were very split. But on my timeline, I happened to see just all positive things. I don't know if you saw anything on Facebook, Rich, but I just saw support.
Yeah, well, I'm part of a lot of crazy groups on Facebook, so we get a lot of disparity. But I will say that the one thing I kind of picked up, maybe it was me just kind of deciphering through a lot of the crap, to be honest, because some people just love to...
You know how it is.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe just deciphering through it. The Stadium Stampede, not to jump ahead, was fantastic. Was a fantastic endeavor. However, they did have to kind of fill some of the space that they would have had matches broken out for those individuals that were in that big 10-man escapade, right? So, there was a lot of complaints about, hey, I felt like I got a little bit of this or a little bit of that. I mean, you think about it, you took 10 of the premier guys, you put them in one match with each other. You do have to kind of fill some of the space with some other stuff. The ladder match was 40 minutes long? You did have to do that. So, I mean, maybe if you look at it like logistically, maybe they felt like they weren't getting, I guess, the bang for their buck. But I thought the show delivered on top of that. I thought it was well worth the price.
Yeah, overall, I was extremely pleased with it.
Yeah, I was too, to be honest with you. There was only 2 matches, which we'll get to, that I really just didn't care for. And I just was like, whatever. It was kind of meh on the scale, and I felt it kind of, or my mood sort of drop. But then it picked right back up. So, and that's with any pay-per-view, I feel like. There's stuff you're going to like, there's stuff that you're not going to like, and that's just kind of how it goes. When I watch WWE, I see Bobby Lashley, I turn it off. I'm like, that's not really my thing. I don't really want to watch that.
Whoa.
Did I get you, Rich? Did I get you?
That's his boy.
Bobby
loves him.
Bobby Lashley's my guy.
Oh, no. Well, it's definitely not my guy.
I've been a Bobby Lashley guy since like 05, man. He used to fight like Simon Dean, and this was good stuff, man. Bobby Lashley. Don't you do it to my Bobo there.
All right. Well, I won't do it to you. How about that? I'll just practice my own advice and just whoop. I don't have anything kind to say, so I'm going to stop. But Ash says, today I've seen more negative in regards to Archer and Brody being buried, which is ludicrous in my opinion. I totally agree. People need to get off that train. Just because you lose one match doesn't mean you're totally gone. If you lose like 8 matches in a row, and like major pay-per-views included, and you just can't seem to win, and they kind of throw you to the wolves, and then you're not on television, then maybe we could talk about it. But one match, I don't think so. Colin said there's a lot of talk about the pool spot with not Pride. Oh boy, Proud and Powerful, with the guy face down. Oh, Matt Hardy, yeah. Folks saying they were taking a shot at Shad Gaspard. I don't think that's what that was at all. And Colin agrees with you, Rich. TNA Bobby Lashley was great. There you go.
Yeah, listen, we're not all alone out there. Bobby Lashley, we're a fellow Bobby Lashley collective.
There you go.
We support. Support it.
I'm glad you have somebody. But Chris is on my side. Thanks, Chris. All right, so let's start with the top of the show. I thought the promo package video at the beginning was just beautiful. I thought they did such a nice job with the, as the world kind of wakes up and comes back. I thought that was excellent way to start the show. It kind of gave it a nice feel and a nice vibe. I thought the set was cool. I loved the cards. But I think my favorite thing, y'all, was the spinning slot machine on the TV.
Yes, it brought me right back to Vegas. I love Vegas so much, and I couldn't stop staring at it the whole night.
But did you both watch and see if it lined up every time it spun?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure that everybody else was also watching it to make sure, because sometimes it didn't line up. Sometimes it didn't match.
Sometimes it didn't, and I was like, no, we lost.
Yeah, right. We were all watching it. So, okay, making sure.
Yes, Chris says the slot machines were chef's kiss. Yes, I totally agree. It was perfect. It gave us the Vegas vibe without being in Vegas, right? So it felt a little bit like last year, not as grandiose, but it definitely felt like that. And boy, did they start off hot. I mean, they went right for it with the buy-in with the Best Friends and Private Party, establishing the Best Friends as the number one contenders, guys. Are we shocked by that or what?
I am extremely happy with the outcome.
They earned it.
They've been, I've said this for a long time. I feel like Best Friends are a very viable tag team, and they've been big players in AEW, but they haven't been at the same time, and they've had momentum building these past few weeks and few months, and I said it on our recap show earlier. If they would have lost, I feel like that would have been a missed opportunity. No disrespect to Private Party, but they had something going with Best Friends, and I think it was the right call. I was really happy with the victory.
People who are in the know, they do know that the quarantine episodes, I call them quarantine episodes, lockdown episodes of the AEW Dynamite, for about 4 weeks, they were taped in 2 days. Right. So the amount of work that Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta put in those 2 days that they had to spread out through 4 or 5 shows.
Yeah.
I mean, they needed to be recognized for all their effort. And again, it has nothing to do with individuals who stayed home during quarantine. All respect to them. I have no problem with that. I've said that many times. I have no disrespect. They do not deserve to lose their spot. But to put on 4 matches and then that hardcore match that happened on the Dynamite, all in a window of 24 hours, that you got to give a lot of respect to them. So I think this was the right call to kind of say, hey, you know what? We're going to give them the nod. They put in all that extra work. The fans are connecting to them. They're hilarious. Their promos are fantastic.
I love them. I do. I really do.
And the match was fine. I like the match. A Private Party is going to be a star. They're going to be a star tag team in this division. The only thing it's just rust. It was just a little rust. You know, I mean, when was the last time they were in the ring? 2 months ago?
I feel like they were on one dark, and then like that was it, right?
Yeah. It's been a while.
I said it to Ashley because I like to do kind of like a star grade, because pay-per-views, people associate pay-per-views with matches. So when you do it, like, you know, you go back to watch a pay-per-view because I want to watch Dustin versus Cody. You kind of watch Dynamites to see the big segments, the surprises, the returns, you know, things like that. So I said I can't give star ratings. I can't. I mean, some of these individuals hadn't worked in a ring in over a month. You can't go after somebody because of that. So I thought the match was fine.
I thought it was too. And you know, the best friends hit off and continue on their hot streak. And I think this is the right call. I think you guys said it perfectly there. You know, not only, I hesitate to say people deserve things, right? But they really did put in that work. They really have been here week in, week out, doing all those things. And, you know, people love them. I mean, you got to give the people what they want. The best friend hug, right? And they're so over with Orange Cassidy. And I think the program that they are going to put together with Hangman and Kenny is going to be spectacular.
Yes, that is something really exciting to look forward to. Wow, just the matches, thinking of those.
I know.
But I was thinking, sort of how you said with Orange Cassidy kind of triggered my memory. I don't know if many people have gone on the Jarrett Cruise, but they talked about how they were looking to maybe institute a 6-man tag team group. That was the first group we thought of, was just, I mean, these guys versus SCU 3-on-3. I mean, this would be great.
Well, Death Triangle.
Death Triangle.
Oh,
I mean, just a
coming.
6-man team with these guys with Orange Cat. I mean, that would be so fantastic.
It'd be so much fun. They have a lot of potential, and I just think, you know, sky's the limit. We have a lot of potential and opportunity and growth and fun things for the AEW roster, and especially when it comes to tag and trios. So it's going to be fine. Hey, Mags, yes, it is working, buddy, and I'm so excited about it. Chris said they've earned it. Best friends. They've put in the work since the quarantine empty arena matches, so he agrees with us on that one. I mean, it's going to be good. It's going to be good stuff. So that was the buy-in, and then we kick it off with the Casino Ladder match. I'm so glad this went first. I am so glad. It was a great choice. Super hot match. A lot of crazy people involved, and the mystery person was finally revealed. So we have this amazing Casino Ladder match. Joey Janela came in for Rey Fenix, who's out injured right now. And Joey Janela with ladders is probably the best thing ever. And I love that they did those little kind of like talking crap, talking smack videos before the actual match took place. I thought that was brilliant, and Joey's was awesome. But the real star of the show, guys, before the match even started, was Jimmy Havoc in his blood-spattered white suit. Stop everything. I can't handle it. It was so good, with Kip in his sequined blazer and Penelope Ford looking like a fox.
Kip looked fantastic.
Oh, he looked so good, didn't he?
The Dexter Morgan vibes coming off of Jimmy Havoc, Penelope and Kip. I am all about this. Each and every week, I'm just loving it.
I still don't know why they're all together.
They're best friends.
But, all right,
they live together.
Yep.
It works. I love it. I thought it was perfect.
Didn't Jericho say he lived in a cardboard box in his house?
That's what he said. But
is this true?
Ask Jimmy.
No, that's okay.
And the white shoes, Mags said. You're right, Mags, and the white shoes.
I like that they're incorporating all the teams, the factions, the alliances. I like that they put it all in the match. I like that, you know, there was that back and forth between Kaz and Scorpio. I'm sorry, I had to swallow. The 2 minutes in between, though, that threw me off. That was such a strange. Maybe it was me. I didn't expect that. I didn't know what was happening.
As we talked about, we had gone live with Foul during the match, so we had our volume down, so we didn't hear Dasha with the commentary discussing the time limit. We just kind of saw it in the background, and we're like, what the hell is happening here?
Yeah.
So that did kind of throw us by surprise, but when we rewatched it, I mean, she explains the rules a little more clearly. We just missed it.
Yeah, I thought hey, maybe it was just me. I said, well, why is there 2 minutes? And then I realized, I thought, like I said earlier, maybe it was because you do kind of have to take up some more time because you are putting all these people into one big match at the end. Obviously, that match was like an hour long, right? The last match, 45 minutes long or something? Maybe I'm over exaggerating, but
it was long. It was really, really long.
Stampede. But I didn't mind the 2-minute interval. I thought that was unique. It made it unique to them. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed waiting for the last person. I also enjoyed that it was a poker chip to pull off the top.
Yeah, and that thing's huge. I was like, oh my God, it's bigger than I thought it was going to be. I mean, not that it would be small, right? It needs to be easy to grab. Like, I get it. But it was weird. The actual ladder match was 28 minutes long. 28 minutes and 30 seconds. So it did feel way longer than that. I think it was because there was so much happened, probably, that it just feels more.
My only gripe, like, in the moment was that it felt like it went on a little too long. Each man got his spot in. I loved the introduction of Brian Cage. I loved the element of him with Taz.
Now they piled every weapon known to man on top of him?
Putting that piece or that story together with Taz and Darby rejecting him. I thought that was all really cool. It felt a little long.
It did feel a little long. Yeah, just a little long. That's all. It was kind of, when we were watching it, obviously we were having our own technical difficulties, so no one can hear us, and then
I think that probably also
kind
added
of threw
to
off,
it also.
off the match there. But I thought that everybody did really well. Darby did some crazy spots.
Oh my God, that skateboard spot off the top of the ladder. I thought he hurt himself. I thought things were not good.
I know.
Or when he was laying on the ladder like a plate, and they just decided to frisbee him out of the ring onto nothing.
He's done such unique things. I love it. It's because you never know what to expect.
But here's the thing
him.
that I have to ask.
But I get scared.
What is the creative process when you're in the room and Darby goes, just lay me on this ladder and then just frisbee me?
Maybe he just does it in the heat of the moment. Like, he sees it, he's like, all right, let's go.
I don't
know.
Just lay me on there and just throw me. And they go, well, onto what? And he goes, onto another ladder. It's just, I guess that's Darby for you.
Yeah, I guess so. And it just was crazy. Time flew, says Ash. Yeah, it definitely did. I think the pay-per-view, like, at some points felt like, oh my God, it's so long. And then matches felt so long. And then you, like, blink and you're like, oh, no, it really wasn't that long at all. Okay, interesting. Very weird. So, yeah, I hear that. And Ash, you did make that prediction. That's correct. Mag says, star of the ladder match was Orange, not knowing how to win that match. Absolutely correct. My favorite part was him coming out and asking Excalibur, and he drops his head back like, ugh. He just walks to the ring and spends the most time getting to the ring, and then the next entrants come in, and I'm like, Orange, you're the best.
Did you guys watch the countdown? Did you? I don't know if anybody did in the chat, or if you did. Did you watch the countdown on TNT the Friday evening?
I actually never got a chance to because I was live. I was in AW Heels with Ash, and then I went to on Speeds and Benchmark show, so I never got to watch it, and I was so busy yesterday before the show, I didn't catch it.
So he talks about the match. I think he goes, so it's just first blood, right? And they're like, no, it's a ladder match. And he goes, oh, well, how does that work? And he goes, well, you climb the ladder. And he's like, oh, I'm not going to be good at this.
Freaking Orange Cassidy. I just love that guy. Definitely the star of that match. And, now we have Brian Cage, and Brian Cage comes out, the Machine. We were talking before the show began about, like, we were a little bit surprised because of how badly he was injured. And I said to you both, like, he's got John Cena DNA, man. Like, he's just up and at it and ready to go. And he looked perfect. And for me, I feel like the division had been lacking a really strong big guy. Yeah, we have Luchasaurus and like Wardlow, but Wardlow's not really being utilized as much and whatever. But Brian Cage is like the big of the big. Like, he's a monster machine. And
I love his intensity.
Yeah, he's really intense. And like Lance Archer is a big dude, but Brian is a big dude. So like, this is really cool.
Yeah, I think I said it. I just keep saying it. Like, I think he's going to be a great addition. It just adds this extra dynamic. Because he's not the tallest,
He's
right?
not.
But he's this beast. Like, I feel like you can kind of plug and
It
play
actually
him
exactly
anywhere.
exactly. It actually benefits him that he's not 6'4" because he doesn't tower over everybody. He kind of fits in perfectly in that whole realm. He can work with all different sized individuals, height, weight, muscles, anything. He could do all of it. Hardcore stuff. He could do it all. And the thing I really liked about him is that he's kind of the total package. Again, he's not Lex Luger. Lex Luger's my guy. But he's kind of the total package. I mean, he does flips and he'll spine buster the shit out of you. I mean, he's great.
And having Taz in his corner is going to be like, it's a whole new element. And like you said, Queenie, I think it's going to shake up the men's division a little bit.
It is, and I feel like this program that we're going to get with Moxley, I can't even handle how good it's going to be. Mags says, Brian Cage was so humble in the post-event media scrum. Yeah, I'd heard that, Mags.
Oh, I
That's
didn't get a chance
really
to see that.
dope. That's awesome. I'd heard that from some other people, and I would really love to listen into that. And Spees says he met Brian at a show Silky and him went to, and you can't get an appreciation for how big he is until you see him in person. Like, I freaking bet. Mags says he's molded like a Bobby Lashley, but with the skill set of an Osprey. That is a beautiful comparison. Hashtag Mags, all pods. You are awesome.
We popped really hard. We went to a TNA show back in like 2013 when it went to Hammerstein. I think it was the event that Bully Ray put Dixie Carter through the table. And Brian Cage came out, and we were the only people that popped because I've liked Brian Cage for a long time because he's exciting. So I remember we popped for him, and everyone's like, "Oh, okay, all right." I'm like, "Well, this is Brian Cage. Like, he's good. Trust me, he's good."
He's so good, and I'm so glad he's here. I'm really ready for the good stuff, and I feel like everybody in the chat is ready too. So it's gonna be really fun. I love the cool poker chip. I'm excited to see like how that's gonna work. Like, is it a Money in the Bank style thing? Do they cash it in? Like, they're gonna play the chip? Like, how is this gonna be done? I'm excited and looking forward to. Maybe we'll find out a little bit more on Wednesday. And I love that he's partnered with Taz. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. But that led us right into, I think, one of my top 2 wrestling matches of the night. Like, the Stadium Stampede, I'm going to put in its own category. Okay. But I'm going to say one of my top 2 wrestling matches of the night with MJF and Jungle Boy. You guys, you go first. Talk to me about how you felt about this matchup.
I can't even really put it into words. These two just work so well together. And this matchup itself, I'll be honest, the match was something I was not super pumped for because I felt like it was just kind of just thrown together on Dynamite. Again, quarantine, things have just been a lull, so I just haven't been super excited for anything in general. But then the match actually happened, and they kicked ass back on Dynamite together. Was that a couple months ago? They have amazing chemistry, and I love seeing the young guys paired together because you can just watch them grow. I've said this so many times before, but you watch them grow. They're just star building right before our eyes, and I just loved it.
We actually were able to purchase the I don't want to do like a cheap plug here, but on the Bleacher Report Live, but you can purchase all the 2019 AEW pay-per-views for about $15. So it's a great deal, and they stay in your library, so you can check them out all you want. I'm just, it's not like I wish I was getting paid by them, but it's kind of a cheap plug. So I went and I purchased the Double or Nothing 2019. I had not purchased that pay-per-view because I went to the event. So I got a chance to rewatch it to get into the Double or Nothing 2020. And just watching the maturation process, the growth of these individuals, even Nyla Rose, we'll talk about later, just watching her match at Double or Nothing 2019 and Double or Nothing 2020, just the growth of Jungle Boy and MJF, it's unbelievable.
It's beautiful. And, I was talking, I can't remember whose show I was on. I've been on a lot of shows this week. I think it might have been on Speez's, actually, and talking a lot about how I feel about these people being the future of AEW. It's easy to see, right? But the future of wrestling in general, MJF, Jungle Boy, Samu Guevara, and Darby Allin. How bright is your future if those are the 4 that you have? You know what I mean? And that's not even touching everybody else. That's just the 4 that come to my mind right away. And this match to me was just a beautiful match. Mag says right here that it was such a great match and it reminded him of late 80s heel versus face style match. I feel the exact same way. This was like old school heel face, the goodest of the good. And MJF is just like, he's such a little shit and you love to hate him, but like, he's great in the ring. And his chemistry with Jungle Boy, that chant that you always hear, the fight forever chant, like that applies to them in spades. Like if they fought every week, I don't think I would care because of how good they feed off of each other. This is a feud that can be revisited. This is a feud that can be expanded upon. They could wait years in between and they could come back together and it would still be good, and that's so special. To me, it's like, oh, the future is so bright with them. This could be like a Rock Stone Cold type of vibe where it's like, yeah, they have these great matches, but they get better and better with time. And Spees mentioned here in the chat that how was this match even on the same show as the Stampede match? Because it's like 2 different planets.
Yeah. The show was long too, though. The show was long.
It was 4 hours, right?
It felt
almost 4 hours.
We turned it on like 7 o'clock. We waited for the thing to go because you want to make sure there's no bugs.
Right.
So we get on a little early, make sure that the thing goes. And we didn't get off till like almost midnight.
Yeah. It was a long show.
I appreciate it though, because we're not. I know they wanted to make it a little shorter. They kind of mentioned that. I believe it was Matt Jackson at the One Star Cast.
Mm-hmm.
He said that they're going to cut a match or so off to kind of shorten it because people were complaining that, hey, you know what, it's great content, but like so much content.
Right.
But I'm glad they gave it to us because listen, what else are we doing?
I know we're starved for wrestling as it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially on this caliber, And I'm not trying to drag WWE or anything, but I just feel strongly that we get more of a wrestling vibe with AEW than we do in WWE. WWE feels obviously like they want it to feel sports entertainment. And not that this isn't sports entertainment, it's just more wrestling oriented to me. That's at least how I take it. But I just thought that this was top-notch, stellar stuff. And man, I loved it. I loved it. I want to talk about the ladies for a second, though, because Britt Baker, they did a little segment there with their doctor about their actual medical doctor, not dentist doctor, about her condition. And I mean, it sounds serious, but I think they're waiting for her on Wednesday to make her announcement about timelines. I guess that's what they said. But she was supposed to be obviously in this match with Chris Statlander, and not what we got. We got Penelope Ford versus Chris Statlander. This was a very fast match. Like 5 minutes and 30 seconds fast.
It felt longer than that.
It did, didn't it? I'm like surprised to see the timing.
I could have sworn, because I think I even said it. Now I feel like an idiot, but I even said it that it was like 10 minutes. Like I thought it was 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No, I guess not. No.
Isn't that wild? But, they did great. And you know what is the best thing ever is I love seeing Penelope Ford actually, wrestle instead of just being a valet for Kip. And it's fun because she adds so much when she is with him and she gets involved and does little shady things, and it's great. But I love seeing her in the ring. I like watching her wrestle. She's very athletic, and she's got some gymnastics in there, and it's fun to see. But the star of the show for me is Chris Statlander, hands down. I mean, what a talent she is. She's going to be a force to reckon with here in AEW, guys.
I really like this match. With Britt being injured, unfortunately, this easily probably could have gotten scrapped or moved to the buy-in, but
right.
They stuck to their guns. They gave us Penelope. I thought it was really solid. I said earlier on our recap, you only get better through experience. So the fact that they're letting these two ladies go out, perfect their craft, go back and forth, I thought they both looked really strong. I like that we're seeing more Penelope because I'm not too familiar with her. And yeah, like you said, she is excellent in Kip's corner. but I want to see what she can do in the ring. I love Kip being in her corner. That just adds a whole different element, like we've talked about with the factions. But this, I always love the ladies. A huge supporter of women's wrestling. It's something I wish I could do myself. So I love seeing them go out there and kick ass. But both her and Statlander, I think, are really awesome.
Let's go, Ash. You know, when I go outside, let's do it. What's funny is I watched this yesterday live, and I had it as a throwaway. Just, it's honest. I just kind of, it is what it is. And then we watched it again today, and I said, well, this is way better than it was yesterday. And I was able to kind of pay attention now to what was taking place. And I said, I really like the size difference. Chris Statlander, either she's really tall or Penelope's short. I don't actually know. but they eyed each other down. I said this, I was like, is she like really tall? Or is she like just really short? But I go, the difference in the style of match is that Statlander being so much taller than Penelope uses her physique differently. She kind of flies around. She stays low. Chris Statlander is kind of lankier. She has longer arms. She can, susceptible to certain things. So I thought the match was done pretty well. And as Ashley said, she's right. They're so young. And they don't have a ton of experience in the actual in-ring on television type of stuff. And when you put them on the pay-per-view, you held to your guns. You said, hey, listen, this is a pay-per-view match. It was Chris Statlander, Britt Baker, but this is a pay-per-view match. You're getting your pay-per-view spot. That shows them a lot of confidence. I appreciated that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I met Penelope Ford. She is very, very nice in person and super fun. And she's about I'm 5'7". She's shorter than me. So she's I want to say maybe 5'3", 5'4". area would be my guess.
Chris Statlander is?
Penelope Ford is.
Oh my goodness. No, I was like, how small is Penelope?
No. Penelope Ford. Yeah. She's shorter. I feel like Chris Statlander is my height or taller. I feel like she's a force though. I cannot wait. She is our leader, says Chris. We must boop. Yes, we must do it. I just adore that lady, and I'm looking forward to meeting her at some point, maybe in the future at another Starcast event, guys. Maybe, I don't know. Someday. Spees says that Baker injury is killer. It's a damn shame. Yeah, man. When I was guesting on his show over there, we talked about that because they hadn't confirmed anything, obviously, until this show, and damn shame for her. The momentum is slowing, obviously, now, but she'll get it back. We'll see what happens with them. Ash said, best showing of the AEW ladies so far. On this pay-per-view, I actually agree. I think these were the two best women's matches that they've had that weren't a championship until we get to, obviously, Sheeta and Nyla later. But I feel like Riho versus Nyla and Nyla versus Sheeta are my two favorite matches. And then this Chris Statlander one, even though Penelope was slow, I thought was really, really good. On pay-per-view, it was good. Better
Absolutely.
Than seeing B. Priestley get her, not B. Priestley, better than seeing Britt Baker get a concussion. That was not a good match on a pay-per-view, that's for sure. So, progress is the point. And I'm so excited about it. And real quick, Ash, we were on AEW Heels together, having a grand old time. How excited are you for this venture of women solidarity?
Oh my gosh. So I know you and I were chatting during the event, and it was something that, not gonna lie, it made me a little emotional because I feel like there's never been anything like this before. And growing up, I would have a hard time getting along with women because it can be competitive and catty, and it's unfortunate. And Brandy kind of touched on that during the meeting, and she's like, let's just get along and empower each other. And I was nervous beforehand. I know I was messaging you what do I wear? I don't want to underdress. We're panicking over this, and everyone looked beautiful, but the chat itself was just full of so much support. There was not an ounce of negativity. I felt so comfortable. We're dancing to the Spice Girls. We're singing along. And it was I would normally just kind of sit back and watch. And I felt comfortable enough to engage and kind of put myself out there a little bit. So I think this is a great initiative. And I'm really excited to see what else it's going to entail in the future.
I know.
And I tried to peek, and you threw me away.
That's right.
Oh,
I just
Get out!
peek, and I got thrown away.
You did. Sorry. Listen, like in
No.
what's the movie The Little Rascals, the He-Man Woman Haters Club? We'll reverse that. It's the She-Man man-hating women's club. No, I'm kidding. It was not about that at all. It just was about bringing other women together to really kind of give ourselves a voice and a community to find other female wrestling fans, because we're so few and far between, but we're coming out the woodwork now, and I'm so excited about it. Shout out to JPQ, who just joined the chat. What's up, buddy? Everybody's here in the chat. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We're just having a good time here talking Double or Nothing. But now I think we have to talk about... God, I can't forget. I forget the order, but I want to save Cody for a little bit later. So can we talk about this very also quick match? We'll get this one out of the way. Dustin Rhodes with Brandy and Sean Spears. So Sean Spears comes out in a suit. He's really embracing this new newscaster thing, and came out thinking that Dustin wasn't going to show up, but he shows up for this match. Kind of sneak attacks him in a way, sneaks up behind him, and we have a very quick almost 3.5 minute match. And we saw some interesting underwear choices. We saw some booty. It was something.
So I want to take this one.
You do it.
I like Sean Spears, and I really like Dustin. And I was actually really looking forward to watching a wrestling match. I was looking forward to seeing them actually go at it on pay-per-view. I thought they had, even though it was very, very small, I felt they had a little build. So I thought, hey, there's a little story here. He kind of criticized him on his new news show. I liked that. I liked that he basically retired Dustin for him. And then he comes out in a suit, and just because it wasn't what I expected does not mean I didn't like it. And it's probably because I like both of them, and it was very funny. And I don't know if I can say it, but I mean, you had Tully Blanchard on his penis, and you had too much Sean Spears for everybody to see.
Way too much Sean Spears.
a lot of, and you know what? A lot of Sean Spears to see for a long time. It wasn't like a quick little, expose. Like this was he's in socks, and this was the whole match. So. I like to think also that Dustin was hiding behind the camera the entire time that Sean was cutting the promo, which kind of makes me laugh even more, because he's just standing right back there, and they're looking up at the stage looking for him and whatnot. But I liked it because I think I like both guys. I think it gave Sean Spears a little bit more character than we're used to seeing, because to be honest, he did kind of fall a little flat. And once they took away that chair shot gimmick, because unfortunately it didn't work. Unfortunately, it got a lot of backlash. He lost basically the entire character he was going with. So for a while, he kind of floundered there a little bit. And now I thought that the news thing was going to be good, but the match was, I don't know. I thought maybe they could have given him a better platform, but I enjoyed it.
Well, you had said earlier, Queenie, talking about how, burials, the burial of Archer, and it's like that's not the case here. I think that's the case with Sean Spears.
Yeah, me too.
This guy needs a win. I love the new character direction. The loss here I don't think necessarily hurt, because we're kind of resetting. He's got more depth. We're trending somewhere new, so it's like, all right, it's cool, but like this guy needs a win ASAP, because otherwise you're going to fall into obscurity, and he's got so much potential. He should be a dominant player. Yeah, I felt like he fell there, and that this character was going to kind of bring him back, and then this is what we got. I don't think it's too late, but like this guy needs to get a win.
I think you're exactly right with that. And a lot of things that bother me about Sean Spears is, what's going on with Sean Spears? They don't know what's going on with Sean Spears, and I don't think he knows what's going on with him, because he's been so many different things in this very new company. Like, I know we've put some months behind us on television, but really, it's not that long in the grand scheme. And he's been like multiple things. He's had the chairman thing that went on for a while. Then he was like with Tully looking for a tag team partner. And where'd that go? Dropped the ball on that. And now he's this newscaster type thing, but he's still invested with Cody and Dustin. It feels so strange to me that they can't figure out like what to do with this guy. Mag said he hated this match so bad. He thought it was pointless. He said it killed the momentum that Spears had been building up, and I was looking forward to a decent match, and this was not the match.
I was looking forward to seeing Sean Spears and Dustin.
Me too. I thought it'd be good.
And I like Sean Spears, and I really have been. It's getting hard being a Sean Spears fan out there right now. It's getting a little tough.
Yeah.
But we're muscling through it. We have light at the end of the tunnel, we hope.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's too late, but they need to do something. They have to do something with him, pick a direction, stick to it, and build for it. And I agree, Ashley. I think that it's trouble for him if he doesn't, like, start winning something. Even little somethings. Would help him, I think, tremendously. But, I mean, I digress. It was a 3-minute and 20-second match. What more can we possibly say? But this was the part in the show where things kind of went downhill for me, were actually both Rhodes matches. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the TNT Championship, which apparently is not finished, according to Tony Schiavone. Apparently today, I saw somewhere on Twitter, I can't remember who it was, of course, because I forgot to write it down, but they said the new belt, the correct belt, may even be ready by Wednesday. So we might actually see what it really looks like. I don't know. But I'll tell you, the dime look doesn't look very nice.
So you didn't like it. Does anybody in the chat, what do they say?
I know. I don't know. We'll see what they start saying when we're talking about this TNT champion belt,
Yeah.
y'all. What did you think about it? I don't like the lettering of TNT. Like, I know it's going to be prominent.
I completely agree.
But
I
the blocky,
completely agree with you.
It's weird.
Completely.
Right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know why. I said to Ashley, and she said to me, well, what did you expect? I go, I don't know. I guess not that. I don't know what I expected. I just didn't expect TNT in the dead center of the plate in big, bold black writing.
Looks ugly like that.
There's a picture circling Twitter with gold plates. I don't. Have you seen it?
I have seen it. It looks much better.
Much better. Obviously, I don't think that's the real or the finalized product, but my initial thoughts were, it seemed just simple. Like, I don't know, that their other belts are so ornate and detailed, and I love the other 3 championships. I think they're excellent, and this one I didn't love, but seeing the picture with the gold, whether it's real or not, that makes it look better. So I hope that it does have gold.
There is also this piece out there that they're saying that the side plate is Ted Turner's mansion.
Yes.
And if that is true, that is awesome.
I kind of do like that, yeah.
That is unnecessary.
Yes.
And I love it.
It is kind of funny to me, like, when they debuted the AEW title, it's first of all, it's huge. And it's beautiful and ornate. And I was like, oh, I'm getting New Japan vibes, but like kind of old school NWA vibes. Like, this is good stuff. I'm feeling good about it. And then the ladies' belt came out, y'all. And I was like, oh, it's really pretty. Like, the coloring's kind of rose goldy type color. And the shape is different, but it's 10 sizes too small. And I'm like, if you could just enlarge this, give it a little mushroom from Mario and like grow it up a little bit, I think we'd be fine. And then the tag belts, I think, are beautiful. And then I'm like, okay, so what are they going to do for this television title? Because that's how I view it. Television title. And it's that? And now, but you're telling me also that it's really going to be ready on Wednesday? Then why didn't, like, I don't know. I guess they wanted to have something for Mike to give somebody. But
I believe it was Cody, right, that said it was going to be ready by Wednesday?
That's what he said, apparently. I don't know if that's true.
Absolutely unattainable deadlines sometimes.
He's strange.
Yeah.
Weird. But Mag said he hates the belt. It's horrific. Ash said, I didn't like the belt, but how can they fix it in 3 days when they had months to fix it and make it? I love that. I think it's a quick fix due to online feedback. I think you're right with that. Spee says the belt is god awful. He said he saw the completed version and it's only slightly better. LOL. Oh boy. It's worse than the penny and nickel tag belts, and I goddamn hate those, said Mags. Wow, everybody hates the belt. Okay. No. Colin said.
I do see that now.
I know.
The pen belts.
Well,
we haven't seen those in
Rich, you and I had talked, and I had said, based on feedback, I mean, for all we know, they could just design a whole new belt.
Yeah, they can.
If
they have, you know,
I don't know how long that would take, but
they
worst
kind of
case,
have the
they
excuse.
can just, here's
they can just wash
new.
it away and say, hey, you know what? That wasn't at all the one we wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
But I believe there was a guy on Facebook who had designed the title.
I saw
or
that
not designed it or
post.
crafted it. I don't want to misspeak.
Right.
I don't want to give sources I don't know. But he basically said that through the quarantine he was unable to get the proper materials to plate it, to put the, you know, whatever the finishing touches on it, if it was the jewelry. So like this is kind of what they had. But you do kind of think that how would it be possible in the next 3 days to complete it?
Right.
And you had 5 weeks to complete it.
I
So
know. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird to me, and they announced this belt, and they were doing this tournament and stuff, and they've had this idea, obviously, for a while. They could have been working on it long before, you know what I mean? And I just feel like, ugh. With how, even though the women's belt is small, they're all still beautiful belts, right? This belt looks so cheap to me. I saw this, and I was like, oh my god, it's the 24/7 championship all over again, and I cannot stand that belt. I'm like, nope, can't do it. And it was like the shiny silver. The silver and red thing don't go together for me. It just doesn't work.
No, and
I
it
agree.
kind of made me think that it's possible, knowing Cody, knowing the Bucks, that TNT may have thrown their hat in the design of this.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah,
It does not match the other 3 belts.
It doesn't. It's like, one of these things is not like the other.
Exactly.
It just sucked. I just, whatever. But, I digress. The point of it, of course, was to crown the new, first ever inaugural AEW TNT champion. For me, guys, this match didn't need a title belt. These two can feud. It was bigger than that. I would have liked it better if they had a match separately than this tournament. Because when I think about, a TNT championship, a TV title, I'm thinking about all these other wonderful people that they have on their roster and who you can get involved. And on the other flip side of that, this whole COVID situation has really taken a hit on our wrestling industry here that we love so much. And, who they had available and who was really supposed to be in that tournament, we might never know that. And, they worked with what they worked with, and I think it was fine. And I'll certainly, give them a pass on this whole thing. But I don't really like that Cody was in the finals for this belt. He can't challenge for the other ones, so you're going to book yourself to win a secondary title. I don't know how I feel about it. It rubbed me the wrong way. I think Lance Archer in this match looked great. He looked dominant. I don't agree with anybody at all that he's buried because he lost. I think it was done smartly, so he still looks like a dominant monster with no issue in that thing. I also thought it was maybe 8 to 10 minutes too long. It felt long. I know it was only 22 minutes, but to me it felt like a half an hour, and I'm struggling. So I didn't like this at all. I really didn't like the ending. I don't like Cody as the champion. While my brain logically gets it as to why he would be, right, in the scenario, and I get that he's kind of like the gatekeeper role, and he'll get to fight all these guys, and they can establish the belt like Jericho did for the heavyweight title. It put a bad taste in my mouth. So that's kind of how I felt. I'm so anxious to hear what you think.
I completely agree with you. My pick was Archer, given the final 2. From the beginning, I didn't think that this should have been the finals, but given the circumstances, you're completely correct. Who knows what the original plans were? They're just kind of working with the limited roster. But Rich and I had this discussion earlier, and he actually, I think, Rich, you had a really good perspective regarding the Cody win. That helped me change my mindset a little bit.
I appreciate it that I influenced you. I actually enjoyed the match. I did. I enjoyed the match. I liked that they went outside. It's okay. Everybody has different opinions. I enjoyed the match. I love Lance Archer. And I think that even more so now, and his New Japan run was fantastic. And I think even more so now, he's been given a platform to do even more than what he could do in New Japan. All the rope moves he does and the outside the ring stuff in New Japan that's not as common. I think Archer looked fantastic. Now, the thing that Ashley was bringing up was I actually felt like maybe Cody won because Cody can take a loss. So I felt in this situation, maybe Cody won't hold this title belt for very long. And instead of having it go to Archer, where if Archer gets a run, you got to give him a run. You kind of got to keep the belt on. He's a dominant guy. So instead, Cody gets the title. It gives a little prestige to who won it. It's Cody, right? Top guy in the business. And he could put over guys like Darby. He could take a loss to Darby Allin. He could take a loss to Pac. I mean, he could take a loss to these guys. No problem. Pac's a top guy too. Darby Allin's top guy. But he could take a loss and never get hurt. It might be a little bit better that, Lance Archer looked good in this match. The shenanigans took place. Mike Tyson almost punched a snake. The whole thing took place.
Ridiculous.
And it kind of comes out where Archer doesn't look bad at all. And instead, Cody can drop the belt to the winner of the Battle Royal at whatever comes up after this, and we can kind of go on to these new feuds. I don't know. I only thought maybe Cody won. It kind of was my gut feeling that he can take a loss and not get hurt by it. So maybe this was the way that they did it. Because I don't want to see Archer lose.
Right. I don't either. I agree with that. And I actually really appreciate that perspective. That helps me not be as angry as I was before. But Mag says the match was decent, maybe 10 minutes too long, but it didn't need two things, the belt and the vanity booking. Yeah, I mean, I hear that. I feel very similarly. Colin?
Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah, Mike Tyson, I just feel like it was unnecessary at all. I'll add that one in as well.
Mike Tyson looked like
he was having a great time, but he had no idea what to do. He had no idea where to stand, where to go, what to say, how to look, nothing.
They just told him, go out there with the championship, and he's like, okay.
All right, I will. Colin agreed that Cody didn't need to win it, and Sean said people honestly don't know what buried means anymore. People just throw that word around. Yeah, I agree with you there. Ash said, have you seen that Tyson's been announced for Dynamite on Wednesday? I did see that.
Yes, that's exciting.
Interesting. We'll see what happens. It'll be fun, I'm sure. It'll be something silly, and it'll be a good time. But I digress. We have this now, and my question to you, off the top of your head, first person that comes to mind, who should be the first challenger to Cody now that he is the new TNT champion? All y'all in the chat sound off too. Who do you believe should be the first challenger to Cody?
Darby. I thought too much. I told me to off the top of the head, and I was gonna say Pac, but I don't know if he's here. I don't think it's possible, but I'll stick with it.
Okay, I love Pac that's a great choice. I would love to see that, and eventually maybe when travel restrictions are lifted and things are a little bit better and he can get here, I think that would be awesome. We have Chris saying Darby. We have Ash saying Luchasaurus. Love that. Metal. Oh, what's up, Metal? What's going on? And Kyle in the chat. What's up, buddy? Metal says MJF. Love that too. That would be a fun revisit. Bring back that feud. Colin says Darby. Mags says Rusev. Okay, Mags. I love that right now. Mags says I don't want Darby Cody again yet. I don't either. I want to wait. I want to hold off on that. Actually, I think like the Shawn Spears thing would be a good thing to revisit right now because he's around, and that would be I mean, I know he's going to lose eventually, but I think that program might help him a little bit. I would like to see that. I also wouldn't mind Scorpio Sky.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind
Excellent.
that.
Scorpio would be good.
Wouldn't mind that at all. I definitely want Cody Darby again, though, because that match, when it happened, was just, beautiful, beautifulness. It's going to be a good time. But yeah, so that was that, and we'll see what kind of happens. I wonder if someone's going to step up. Oh, Kyle agrees. Yeah. See? Cody versus Scorpio. I wonder if we're going to see someone step up on Wednesday. It makes Wednesday, like, if it wasn't already must-see, like, let's go. So excited. Let's talk about the ladies once again. You guys, we have Ann New, and my heart is so full, I can't even tell you. Hikaru Shida versus Nyla Rose. And we have our new women's champion, and I think Nyla Rose's best match in AEW to date. And that's saying something because I think her match with Riho was unbelievable, but I think this one was the best one. It had such great chemistry between them two. I thought the pacing of this match was excellent. It was 16 minutes, just under 17 minutes long. It was hard hitting. It had great spots, and they just nailed each other. I felt really, really good about this match. Nyla had some great one-liners, her saying, you always bet on black, and Big Swole telling her you ain't shit, and like all this. Oh my God, it was so good from all angles. I'm obsessed. This was my match of the night. What did you guys think?
I loved everything about it. This is something I have been raving about since they had that fatal four-way back on New Year's Day. I've been wanting to see them face off, table versus kendo stick, forever. I think this delivered on all fronts. I like that there was a stipulation involved. I think this sets the bar for the women's division. And as we kind of talked about in the heels chat, what other stipulations do we want to see? I think this opens doors, and seeing Shida win made me emotional. That's Queen Shida. Holy Shida. We love her. I wish that there could have been an audience there for that moment, but watching it at home was it was awesome. I think earlier when Rich and I were talking about it, I had said it almost feels like an injustice to Nyla's reign because of the quarantine, where we didn't get to see her have as many defenses as she could have. As we talked about before we started this, her reign was a little over 100 days, I think. Mm-hmm. And that's lengthy. That's awesome. She's dominant, but I feel like we could have seen her do so much more, but just given the circumstance, that obviously couldn't happen. It's no one's fault. But I do think, building off of Shida's momentum, this was the right time. I have no complaints. I was so excited. This was my match of the night also.
Yes, and everyone in the chat is feeling what you just said and feeling Shida. We have Holy Shida from Kyle. Metal says Shida had gear of the night, and Chris and everybody was talking about her gear being Final Fantasy VII. Yes! Love that. Tiff Lockhart. Colin said that was his match of the night also. Mags said Nyla has really blossomed with her work. We should definitely talk about that. Shida is amazing, says Ash. Big Swole, low-key MVP of the night, 100%. But Sean actually agrees with you, Ashley. He said, I feel bad for Nyla. She wins the title and then is off TV, only to come back for a couple weeks, right, and lose to Shida. But Shida deserves it. Metal says, guys and gals will get Swole versus Shida eventually and hopefully soon. Ooh.
That sounds good.
I'm ready for that. Rich, what do you think?
I agree. I'm not going to go against Ashley there. I mean, she's she was waiting for this. This was the one that she popped. She was plugging all the way since basically before Revolution.
Yep.
Yeah,
and she was waiting. She was waiting. So this is her moment. I really liked the moment where she I don't know if it was like a military press, but she wanted to use the table and she said, no, let's use the poker table. And she threw her over the guardrail into that table of poker chips and crap, and it sprayed all over the place. And I thought that was a nice visual, like a nice aesthetic. I only had the one thing I said to her was I didn't like where at the end they did so many finishing moves over and over and over again, where I thought it felt like it was Shida's time after she slammed her off the top rope.
Yeah.
It was this is the feeling that we're gonna all celebrate, and then it was a kick out, and then it was all right, well, we're gonna go into the Shining Wizard, and that's gonna be it, and then it was another kick out, and then it was oh well, come on, we're here, let's get the moment, and that was the only thing that I kind of was I wanted it to kind of, I don't know, maybe I like the spots though. She hit her and she whacked her with the kendo stick in the head. Yeah. And I popped for that. I was she slugged her.
Yeah, she did.
In there. That was good. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to step on Ashley's toes. That was her moment.
It was a good one. And Mag said Sheeta has to be in the conversation as the best female wrestler in the Western world, on par with Io. I mean, you got to put her there. She's a workhorse, man. She has worked so hard, too. That's another thing. She has really just been one of the ones, if you go back and review, like you were saying earlier, Rich, and like watch her, like leaps and bounds of growth. And with Nyla as well. She's so much better than she was when she first started. And even, on TV before Revolution, I feel like, there's such growth in the past several months, and Sheeta just rules. Sheeta is the best, and I'm so happy. I marked out to Ashley. I was screaming. I posted a video of me screaming. I was just like,
Their confidence is also raised so much. You can just see the difference in character.
It's we're in such a unique position just with AEW. Just seeing the progression of everyone but Queen, as we talked on the Revolution panel with Josh. The women's division was really just built from the ground up, and as you said, there's been so much growth the past few months, and I feel like we're really in the swing of things now. There's a lot of depth and diversity with the characters, and I think a lot of doors are opening right now, and the future looks bright.
Future looks so bright, and I'm so glad we've definitely pivoted, as JPQ said on our double episode this week on Smart to Death Radio. They really pivoted. We've started moving in a forward direction, and hopefully as things start to open up, we can get some of this roster back in and really start pushing this division forward. I really think we have such a bright future, and man, Big Swole, she coming, honey, and it's going to be good. I'm excited for it. It's going to be a good time, and I'm so happy for Sheeta, and, what a beautiful moment we got with a new champion. But from one championship to another, we have to talk about this co-main, I guess, event of Moxley versus Brody Lee. Now, I know you're a Mox fan over there, Ashley, so I'll let you start this one off. We had Mox versus the Exalted One here for the AEW World Championship. 15 and a half minutes. What did you think?
This was another one that I really liked. Moxman is my guy, so not going to go against him there. But I'm not familiar with Brody Lee. I know him as Luke Harper. I've seen his work there, but I feel like he was very kind of limited, and he's going to be able to do so much more in this position as the Exalted One and on this AEW platform. So I was super excited for this match to see the two of them go at it and really get this proper introduction of Brody Lee to everyone. And I feel like he really delivered. This was another one, even though he lost, I don't think he looks weak at all. I think I liked it.
I think Brody Lee really should be proud of the performance he put on. I mean, coming out of WWE, you kind of have that one first match where you're really hoping that it goes well because you're trying to justify almost to everybody, as much as we all know it's the right move. You went to the right company, the right thing. Like, as much as we all know it, internally he kind of has to justify it even with himself. And he stepped in the ring, and that was proving all the doubters wrong.
It was a big deal.
That match was great.
Deal.
I personally, I really enjoyed the match. It was a slow burn. They did a lot of great things, and I think you start to appreciate even how big Jon Moxley is, like how a tall dude. I mean, he got powerbombed by Brody Lee, and I was like, wow, these are two men like going at it right now. And it was, they put him through the stage. Like, the match was really good. And they did a nice ending with the choke out, which was completely unexpected.
I like the submissions.
Yeah, I thought I really enjoyed this match. We both said that right after it was over.
Yeah. I liked the latter half of the match, if you will, more than the beginning. But I will say that I thought Mox looked unbelievable. I loved his jacket. I know a lot of people were making fun of like the shoulders and that it was bigger. It's supposed to be. That is a biker style jacket. It's supposed to be like that, so you can just be like, yeah, I'm here to whip some. I loved it. I thought it was great, and he's I mean, he's Moxley. What else can you say about that? I thought, like Metal said, Mr. Brody Lee looked amazing. I thought he did really well for his first major pay-per-view. This is the first one, and he made a great impression, like you said, Rich. It's a lot of pressure, you know? And he's a different guy now, right? He's a totally different personality, and he's talking a lot, which is not something people are used to. So seeing this guy in a completely different way for people who've seen him, you know, in WWE before, and then even before that on the indies, which they have met too, Moxley and Brody Lee in the indies before WWE and now AEW, right? So it's kind of cool when you think about it like that. I just think that it was good. It was the right pacing. It was the right time. You know, it wasn't too long, and I think the ending was spectacular. I loved when they went through the little ramp issue there, and I loved the choke out at the end. I think Brody Lee still looks great, and Mox is your dominant champion. I mean, what better thing could you ask for to close out your championship match than that? You know, your champ that you love and the people love wins, and he chokes out the bad guy, but the bad guy still has his momentum. I don't think that he's stopped, and I think this is going to set him off. I think we're going to see some fun things with the Dark Order and Mr. Brody Lee. Sean says, great match, kept it fast-paced, Brody looked strong. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you there.
And I'm excited for Moxley against Brian Cage.
Oh, yes. Now you're talking my language. So that's the thing. So now, you guys, also, they dropped today that, or really last night in the media scrum, that it's going to take place at Fyter Fest. Brian Cage versus Moxley. It's going to happen. And that's in June. And Tony Khan also said that Fyter Fest was supposed to be in London this year, but for obvious reasons, can't do that. But they will get there in the future. And I'm so excited that they're going to keep to that UK thing. I feel bad that it didn't end up working, but what do we think? Brian Cage Moxley in like a couple weeks?
I'm glad they kept Fyter Fest around. I'm glad they brought it back. I like when you do year. I like the Fyter Fest theme. They had, well, that was the whole Kenny Omega with they had the women for only the beginning because he couldn't pay them all, and then they put mannequins out, and it was supposed to be the whole thing about the Fire Island. Was it Fire Island? Is that what the whole thing on Netflix was?
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and Kenny didn't have a good catering, and it was the whole thing was good. I enjoyed Fyter Fest last year. We had the Lights Out match with Moxley and Joey Janela as the main event.
Oh, yeah,
we did.
So I think it kind of, Brian Cage, John Moxley, it pays homage to last year. Good show.
Yeah.
I think it's good to do it soon, too, because, one, just build off of that momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I know they announced All Out yesterday.
Yes, they did.
But they didn't announce a location. They didn't announce any ticket sale date because everything is so uncertain.
Right.
Why wait till then when you don't know what it's going to look like? You know what I mean? So I think just doing it sooner rather than later, it would probably help ratings, help excitement, and it's the right time. I don't know exactly when that. They didn't announce the date yet, right?
They didn't. They just said
June.
In June. Yeah. So I guess we'll kind of see what's going to happen. But, everyone is so sad about Fyter Fest not being in London. I'm so sorry, my London friends. I'm so sorry. Hopefully, it'll happen soon. Maybe next year. Metal said maybe the first pay-per-view of next year. I would love to see Revolution in the UK. I think that'd be dope.
Oh, that could be really cool.
That would be really cool. If it's safe and they can, oh my God, yeah, that'd be awesome. I think the London fans would be effing amazing. Metal, I agree. But I think it's going to be fun, Ashley. I think you make a great point about the payoff. We're going to get it. It's going to draw in people. They're going to want to watch Brian Cage. We're going to get a lot of people who used to watch Impact coming to see what he's going to do in AEW as well, I think. So it's going to be really, really fun, and it's going to be a really hard-hitting match. Mox hasn't faced anybody like this in AEW, so this is going to be fun. It's going to be a good time, and I'm excited to see what happens with Mr. Brody Lee. I think we're going to see some shenanigans.
Yeah.
But speaking of shenanigans, as we're wrapping up here, this is the last one we're talking about, y'all. Here it is. And what a match to close on. The Stadium Stampede match versus the Elite versus the Inner Circle. Wow. Is the first thing that I have to say. I think this may be my favorite wrestling, non-wrestling match probably of all time. I loved this. It was ludicrous. It was crazy. It was ridiculous. And I was thoroughly entertained from start to finish. I thought everything was great. Stuff was hokey and like weird, but I loved it. I thought everything that they had in here, they had such great moments and spots, but I want to hear what you guys thought of this match.
So I don't really even know where to begin.
I know, it's hard, right?
So much to unpack.
It's very hard.
Now, I will say, I think it was the perfect balance of comedy and shtick and shenanigans and action.
Yes.
I loved the bits of, storylines and, highlighting each, individual or kind of like the pairings throughout the night and seeing all that stuff happening. But the biggest moment for me, besides Nick Jackson returning because I missed him, was
oh my God.
seeing Hangman and Kenny being on the same page.
Yes. Oh God.
Made me emotional. I loved it. They were on the same page from the beginning of the match. Kenny trusted in his tag team partner. They're embracing at the end. They shared whiskey and milk in the middle.
Yeah, but he got the milk in the whiskey.
They are tag team champions together. They're brothers.
That's
so right.
Vile. That is disgusting.
I thought that was a very, big storyline moment, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it plays out with the coming shows.
I like the little, I guess, individual, like, small stories they told, like Matt Hardy and Proud and Powerful, and Sammy Guevara with the Bucks, and Jake Hager with Adam Page. Like, I enjoyed
Jericho
that.
and Aubrey.
But yeah, well, he told her that she was a shitty ref. So I mean,
How rude.
Clearly, how rude. How I like that he had eye black on, also, and I thought Jericho. I didn't expect him to come out in football pants.
They came out looking like a team.
It was
They
awesome.
were unified. Ortiz couldn't get the damn helmet on his head. He just kind of balanced on the top because of his hair. And all right, so I'm going to point this out. And I said this on ours. I'm going to say that here. Did anybody else notice the Inner Circle had a coach? Did no one notice this except me? I pointed out to you, Ashley. In the background, in the beginning of the match, they're in the ring. They're all fighting around the ring.
Yeah.
In the back, there's the bench. It was the Jaguar bench. And there's a man wearing an Inner Circle shirt. And he had a bandana around his mouth. But he had a play sheet. And he looks like he's reading the play sheet, and then he's getting into like huddle up position, and he's watching the things happen, and then he's pacing back and forth, and he looks like he's calling plays, like he's the Inner Circle's coach.
I did not see that.
Acknowledged this.
Well, it didn't help them. So.
Clearly, well, the thing was, one, he
right.
was very far away.
He was on the sidelines.
He was 50 yards away, so I mean, he was not close.
Right.
Two, they never acknowledged him on camera. He didn't come out with them. They never acknowledged him. But he's standing back there, kind of pacing back and forth. He's got like his little Andy Reid play thing. He's covering his face, which is kind of funny because he already has a mask on or a bandana to cover anyway. And he's just kind of like watching it, like he's calling the plays out. But you're right, it didn't work.
No,
it didn't work.
Interesting. I did not even see that. Mags is like impressed. He goes, wow, I didn't see that. Attention to detail. So everyone's going off in the chat about this match. Stadium Stampede, the uniforms Mags loves. Conrad, what's up, buddy? Said it's a fun match. Metal said the ref blowing the whistle and then running at each other. Oh my God, I died. It was funny. Mag says the apple juice whiskey. Yes, it definitely was not real whiskey. You could tell by the color. And Kenny was drinking milk shots. I mean, okay, love that. The drowning of Broken Matt's characters was absolutely hysterical. Oh my God, it was so good.
Especially the underwater camera.
Yes.
Where they would show Matt when he would go down.
Homage to the Free the Deletes. I love that. I thought it was really funny.
Me too. Ash said Hangman still drank that milk whiskey. What a man. Yeah, he did. He put that down. You're right.
That's terrible.
Matt Jackson's moonsault off the goalpost. Yeah, that was one of my favorite spots too, Mags. And the locomotion all the way across from 100 yards. I mean, with shitty ribs, Matt Jackson You're the GOAT. That's amazing. Chris says this match hit on all cylinders, from the football intros, the subtle movie references. That's very true. Hardy's 3 versions, Hangman and Kenny toasting in the bar. Oh, so good. Jericho challenging the play was hysterical. Sammy running for his life in the beginning and at the end of the match, and the 100-yard locomotion for the touchdown. It was insane. Yeah, the Northern Lights train, y'all. Sean, you're right. It's the 100-yard Northern Lights train. This match delivered on all things. The Alex Wright, yes. That spot was
I popped for that. I love Alex Wright.
Ashley goes, don't disrespect him like that, Tony. That is, don't you say that about Alex Wright.
It's awesome. It was so good. I think everything that they had in here, the moments were so good. And we're going to remember a lot of them, I think, for a really long time. Hangman getting a drink while everyone else is fighting is probably one of my favorite things that's ever happened. It just was so great. His exchange with Hager at the bar, like, you here to fight or you here to drink? Both? All right, great. Sounds good. Let's have a drink. Pour you a drink. I think it was great. And, Proud and Powerful were awesome. They were swearing at each other, and that was great. And poor Sammy. Poor Sammy getting chased by everything and everyone. It's his new thing. But what we haven't talked about yet, and what we need to talk about, is the end of this match, with Kenny Omega giving a one-wing angel to Sammy Guevara off of the stadium steps onto this platform. It was so beautiful from start to finish, and wow, what a visual.
It was massive.
I couldn't figure out what that, like, I was trying to use my, like, football acumen and, like, determine what he was jumping off. I couldn't tell if that was maybe like the hard cam for the actual game.
It could be.
The thing he was standing on, right?
That's what I thought it was, yeah.
Yeah, so he jumps off, and that was the best part. Was Aubrey Edwards having to get a ladder to climb in.
That was hilarious. That was very funny.
Oh, it was so good.
Was a huge one-winged angel. Oh my God.
It was so beautiful. Mag says everyone nailed it, and it was a beautiful ending. I mean, it was perfect. It really just, it can't be matched. No one will ever do it better. JPQ did a beautiful tweet and said, this match is 9 stars and it couldn't have been done better in the Tokyo Dome. Like, this is it. This is the tops. Chris says, Ortiz, I can't swim. Very true. It's only 3 feet of water, bro. The Judas effect on the mascot. I mean, you know what's really cool about this too is, like, 24 hours almost removed from this, and, like, we're still going, oh my God, yeah, that's right. Or, oh, I didn't really see that. It means that you can go back and watch it over and over again and probably see things that you missed the first couple of times. That's a testament to a match where, like, you can continue to watch it and find new things and enjoy it all the same.
Like the Jericho, they cut the Jericho, and he was going to get his face blended in the fan.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I was like, they're going to kill him.
They're going to kill him.
It was like an airplane engine, that thing, and
Oh,
he was going to
dear.
get his face blended in it. And I was like, this is absolutely outrageous. He said, and, you know, obviously they're hyping it up. You have to sell pay-per-views. You want to get people excited. And Jericho, and they all hype it up, and they say, listen, it's the best match, the most fun match I've ever been in. And they were not wrong. They did not
No,
lie.
not at all. Not at all.
They weren't. And the best part for me is the first match that started the show was the ladder match. That was 28 and a half-ish minutes. And this match ended the show and was 34 minutes. The 2 longest matches were the 2 that I feel like should have been the longest ones. And they bookended the show. Oh, God. I mean, come on. AEW is so good at booking the order in their pay-per-view. It's like they constantly hit it out of the park for me in the way that they organize.
They
It's
really
so
do.
good.
I think Tony Khan actually is the one who does the timing. I believe I read that way back a couple months ago. So kudos to him.
Way to go, Tony Khan.
I was gonna
Big
say that
biceps,
earlier. The
Tony.
order was perfect.
It was great. He did a fantastic job. I think the show, again, it was long. Like, the show went to almost midnight.
It did.
But it was worth it.
But it was good. I thought they gave us all the content we could have asked for with all the hands on deck they could get. They got everybody. But maybe after this is over, I know we did see some faction versus faction warfare, but the Dark Order's a faction, and the Elite and Inner Circle are no longer going at it. So maybe we could see a little Dark Order versus, like, inner circle stuff or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to mix it up, I feel like. Ash said, cannot remember the last time I laughed so much during watching a wrestling match. I agree. It was awesome. That was not hyperbole. A perfect book-ended show, said Mags. Sean, big biceps. Tony, it's hysterical. I love that from amazing, what's his face there? Joey Janela. I wish Tony booked Cody's matches then, Mags. My man coming through. Oh, Bad Motorfinger, what's up, yo? Said Brian Cage versus Lance Archer would be gold. Yeah, I'm ready for that. You know what I'm really ready for? And Conrad agreed. What I'm really ready for, you guys? It is, and Chris knows, because he made this graphic for me because I want Brian Cage versus Kenny Omega, and I want it for something big, like a nice little title. Yeah. Whew, those two at it, I can't. Both machines in their own right, so good. It's gonna be fun. Someday, maybe we'll get it. But what a show. I mean, like, where do we go from here? There's so many options. We're going to see new people facing off. We're going to see the first ever challenger to the first ever TNT championship. It's going to be crazy. And I feel like this Wednesday show is going to be not one to miss.
Yeah, I feel like, I know at the start of the year they had their homecoming and we had the records reset, and that was cool for the start of 2020, but this really feels like sort of like WrestleMania is your like wrestling calendar year. For AEW, Double or Nothing feels like it's kind of the reset point. And I feel like, as you were mentioning, there's so many different directions we can go in, and we're going to see things pick up. Wednesday is can't miss because we're hot off the heels of this pay-per-view, and I feel like this is the new year.
Plus Mike Tyson
Also.
Oh, God. I hope he just looks in awe again at Lance Archer, because that was the best gif ever. I loved it. Well,
I think I'm really looking forward to seeing Lance. I like the opportunity he's going to have now. Again, because everything was taped, it was a lot of, and again, no offense to these workers, but it was a lot of jobbers. So I'm excited to see Lance getting in there and tangling it up with some guys. Yeah. So it's going to be excited if everybody stays around now, because we're starting to. I don't want to say we're getting better. That's not true or whatever, but things are starting to progress. So we got people back now. Maybe they'll stick around a little longer. We get a lot more people for the Dynamites in terms of the talent, and we can see a lot more mix and match.
Yeah, hopefully.
Get these new guys involved with some of the, I want to call them veterans of AEW, but you get like Matt Hardy versus Darby Allin matches you didn't know you wanted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be good stuff, y'all. And I'm really excited. And I'm so glad you two came on to recap. I guess, like I said to you guys earlier, the universe was telling us, don't predict the show, review the show. And I'm really glad that we did. And I'm super glad it worked. And we had people here in the chat to hang out with us, and they could hear you. I mean, hey, blessings. Happy Sunday. But you guys are the absolute best. You know how much I love y'all and love your show and appreciate your takes and opinions and thoughts, all things wrestling. And I'm super thankful you took some of your time out today to chat with me. Please let the people know where they can find you.
Well, thank you again so much for having us. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, taking the time and putting us on the platform. We couldn't ask for more.
Yeah, I love these recaps, so we should, you know what, let's make these like a regular thing. Let's always recap AEW pay-per-views. But we're on Twitter, we're at Dojo and Dynamite, Instagram, also Dojo and Dynamite, and dojoanddynamite@gmail.com if you want to shoot us an email.
And we always post recaps of the Dynamite once a week, and then we do a recap preview show, and we love being on here and doing these recaps.
Yeah, these are fun.
Go follow my friends. I would never steer you wrong. I'm telling you, go do it. They're the best. And thank you so much again. Thank you everyone in the chat for joining us today. It was a pleasure talking AEW with Ashley and Rich and with all of you. Also, don't forget #AllOutChallenge. It's officially on today, okay? It's happening. We've put Double or Nothing to bed, and so it's time to double down on our goals until we are all out. September the 5th. Okay, people, that's what we're doing. Sean says he's definitely checking you out, guys. There you go. And thank you, Sean, for that compliment. Thank you, guys. Appreciate all of you. Adore you. And, of course, as for me, And I will tell you to enjoy the rest of your day and continue to please be kind to one another.